reverse function. Reverse function, as the name suggests, is going to inverse the list. That means going to start off from the end of the list to the beginning. So I have again read out the original list here, and then I apply the reverse function, temp dot reverse, open and close parenthesis, and the reverse list now will be shown back as a output. Let's see this. It's taking some time. Let's just wait. Yeah, there you go. So we have the original list here and the list after reversing. That means it's 10, 5, 4, 9, 3, 2 and 1, which is going to get displayed here, right? The next command that we can use on a list is sort, which in plain English it means arranging the elements in the ascending order or the descending order. So if I run just temp.sort, it's going to sort all the elements here in an ascending format. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 and 10, but the original one had 1, 2, 3, 9, 4, 5 and 10. So it has sorted the elements in the ascending order and it has given the output. Next is the remove command. That's to not remove but pop. Pop essentially means that I'm trying to remove the last element in the list. So it's just going to pop out the last element from the list. So when I say temp.pop, the last element in the list was 10 and that now has been removed, as you can see here. So let's read it again and check for the results. And this is your original list having 10 in the end, and the new list has no 10. Next is your nested list. Now the nested list means that I have few more lists inside one main list. The way to create a nested list is pretty simple. All you need to do is open a box bracket, and within the box bracket you just need to save the list again in square brackets. Create any normal list, right? So 1, 2, 3, which is a single list inside, separated by the comma. The next list I have put in is 2, 3 and 4, again separated by a comma, and 5, 6 and 7. And then this is the box bracket for the first one. So this is a nested list. Let's see the output, and I have my nested list here displayed as the output. The next code requires you to have a little bit of concentration. I would want to separate these out. Okay, so let's just see the output separately, which will make it easier to understand, right? Okay, so I have my original list here, which is numbers from 1 to 6, and the name of this list is A. Now what I've given here is A accessing starting from index number 2 colon, and I have given no value here, which essentially means that I want to start with index number 2, the element on index number 2, and go till the end of the list. So when I mention nothing after the colon sign or the colon symbol, what I'm trying to direct is I want to start from this index number and go till the end of the list. Let's just try to read this and see what we get. What we get is the element on position number 2 till the end of the list, that's 6, right? So 3, 4, 5 and 6 are being read out. Next, what I've said is, from the list A, I want to access the elements from the beginning of the list. When I have nothing before the colon, it actually means that I want to start from the beginning of the list, that is from 1, and go up to the position number 3. But the element on the position number 3 is not going to be included. That's going to be excluded in the output. Let's see how. There you go. So I have from the beginning, that is 1, 2 and position number 3 or the index number 3, which is ideally supposed to be 4, the element 4 is not being displayed as an output. So this is exclusive. So it will start from the beginning, but it will go only up to one number prior to the number which has been mentioned in the code. Next is, I want to start or I want to slice the list from index number 2 and go up to the last element. When I say -1, I am actually referring to the last element of the list. So again, if by now you have caught this up, it is not going to include the last element because I made a mention of it here, right? I have not given a blank after the colon. I have made a mention of an element. So it is not going to include this one. It is only going to include the index 2. Let's see how the results are displayed, and yes. So starting from position number 2, excluding the last element only up till 5. That's what you can see here. Now if I want to delete any particular element inside a list, I can use the del command, that is del, that stands for delete. So what I am doing here is I first create the list and read it out, and then I say delete the index number 2 of the temp list and print the temp list once again. So when I run this, my original list was numbers from 1 to 5, but now the index number 2, which was ideally supposed to be 3, has been removed from the list. Now if you want to understand how many elements are included in a list, the count of elements, I can use the len command. That gives me the length of the list. So I have a list here which quite clearly you can see that you have put in 5 elements here, and when I see the length of it, I get 5. Next is a concatenated list. That means I am trying to create 2 lists with a plus sign in between. That means what I will get as an output is the joined list having all of these elements from both the list. Let's see what this means. So I have created a concat list, which is the name of the list. I could name this anything else, like I could just name it as concat, and I can give 2 lists which are now being concatenated or joined. So the final list, that is the concat list, will have all of these elements belonging to both of them. Now I can even repeat the element inside a list. So there I have put in a character string called hi. I've just mentioned hi, and the entire box bracket now has been multiplied by 4. So when I run the output, I can see, yeah, I have hi 4 times. So that's like repeating any element in a list or the entire list itself. Now if I want to understand if any particular element that comes to my mind, is it there in the list or not? Is it available in the list or not? So let me see now. I have a list here 1, 2, 3, and I am trying to understand if 3 is present in the list over here or not. So I give print 3 in 1, 2, 3. Now the thing that I would want you to note here is that in is a word, it's a fixed word which Python understands. So it will check for the value 3 in this list, and the output that you will get is in the Boolean form. That means if this particular fact here, if 3 really belongs to the list here, it will show you true. Since 5 here is not present in this list down here, it will mention as false. And let's go and read the result. There you go. The final thing about a list is iteration. That means I'm using a loop. For I, that means any element in temp, I want to print I. So when I run this command, what it does is each and every element which belong to the temp list, this is your temp list over here, that's your temp, it says print I. That means all the elements will be printed in the vertical format, as you can see here. If you want the results to be displayed in one line, you can essentially put the end command here, that is end equal to open and close inverted commas. What it does is it will give out the same result, but it will give out in a single line.